Welcome to the Vision Driven Battle Training Podcast. I appreciate you guys who tuned in today on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Pandora, Google Podcasts, wherever you may be listening from. And of course, everybody who's watching right now on YouTube. If you are on YouTube right now, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this episode. You have any suggestions, podcast requests moving forward. If you guys are not following me on Instagram right now, make sure you do that. My Instagram is at Vision Driven Basketball, so you guys can keep up and get more of the stuff that I'm posting. I think there's some helpful stuff on my Instagram. So if you're not following me, go check that out. If you have any questions for me, send me a DM, leave me a comment, whatever. And everybody who's listening on Apple Podcasts right now, do me a favor, leave a review for me at the bottom of the page. Helps the show out. And at the beginning of every show, I read new reviews that I get. So if you guys want me to read that, go ahead and leave one for me. Let me know what you think, and we'll hop into it today. So today I want to talk about success. And I want to talk about it from a couple of different perspectives. But the main reason that I want to talk about this is just because I see it so often, whether it's with the players that I train or even when it's just talking to people, whether it be somebody DMs me with a question or with a certain situation, or this is kind of something that's come up a lot recently for me, is just how you view success and reframing the way that you probably view success a little bit too much. Success is something that can be measured very differently, right? And today I want to talk about two ways that you can do that. So the first way that you can measure success is just objective success. So I can measure success objectively, right? And so, for example, this might be, one team wins the NBA championship every single year. There's one winner every year, and that's just how it is, right? There's one winner and there's 29 losers in the NBA when it comes to that. Let's think about March Madness, right? There's one winner and 300 plus losers every year, if we look at it that way, okay? If you look at successes, okay, there's a winner and a loser in every single thing. Think about it just for yourself, right? When you play a game, there's one team that wins and there's one team that loses. And ultimately, think about it on an even smaller scale. If you play against somebody just in a one-on-one, or maybe you do a shooting drill against somebody, one person wins it and one person loses it. So a lot of times that becomes the only sort of success that we really focus on, or it just becomes the one that we prioritize, probably more so than what it should be. It's just the objective success. Okay, did I win or did I lose? Did I beat that person or did I lose to that person? And that becomes the way that we view things. And a lot of times, there's times for both of these, right? And I'm not saying that objective success isn't a good thing or isn't important sometimes in the right context. I talked about this a little bit, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, where I talked about essentially the difference between, I believe it was last week, the difference between practice and games when it comes to your approach, right? When we talk about games, objective success is what matters. It matters if you win or lose. It matters if you make your shots or you don't. When you get to a game, the objective success is what matters. The performance is what matters. But when we're talking about actually getting better and getting to the point where you can expand your ability to perform, because that's ultimately what practice is, right? We practice, we work out, we train in order to expand our potential or our ability to perform, right? So think about it like this, right? Maybe you, at the beginning of the summer, your potential when it comes to your performance is here, right? And then by the end of the summer, you've been training so much that it gets to here. That's the goal with anything. So how do we actually expand that potential to perform? Well, it comes through measuring our success subjectively when it comes to our training especially, okay? So for example, let's go back to that NBA championship analogy that we use, right? Maybe, there's a difference between running through the entire playoffs and sweeping every series and going 16-0 to get to the finals, right? Or I guess 16-0 through the finals. And there's a difference between you going to 7 games every series, right? That's two very different sorts of success. One team just absolutely crushed everybody and had didn't lose at all and was basically perfect. And the other team was not. The other team had to fight through losing multiple games and playing for a lot longer than the other team had to do. Chances are one team executed at a much higher level than the other one did, but they both are going to go down as NBA champions, right? But is that level of success subjectively the same? Well, no, because one team won it fairly easily or fairly straightforward, right? Or they played well enough that they didn't really have to, they didn't have to play any extra games. They kind of cruised through. And the other team, whether it be they had some games that didn't play well, or just maybe they had to fight through, whatever sort of adversity came their way. It's two very different sorts of success when you look at it from a subjective view, even though, again, at the end, the objective goal was win a championship, and they both did that, right? But it's two different sorts of situations. So that's something for you to think about, right? If you're playing a game, there's a difference between winning a game by 40 or winning a game by 1, right? You approach that very, very differently. And again, the objective outcome is a W, right? The expression is a win, but it's two different sorts of success right there. You can look at it from, and kind of what I want to get at is, let's say you're looking at it from the perspective of, okay, there's a team that you probably should beat by 30, but you only beat them by 10. So is that a success, right? Or what level of success is that right there? Because you should have beat that team by 30. Like, you guys are good enough. Your team is 30 points better than that team, but you only win it by 10. So that's a way to look at it. Again, the objective view. Yes, you won that, but did you actually perform to your highest capability? Is the question you need to ask yourself in those things. Did you do things at the highest level that you possibly could? That's how you need to measure success. Is looking at, okay, what am I capable of doing, and did I do what I'm capable of doing in the context of this game, in the context of this workout, in the context of this drill? Okay, that's what you have to look at when it comes to, are you actually successful? Was it actually a successful day? You know, there will be times where, like, we'll be going through like group workout maybe, and maybe there's one player who's like not, you know, maybe we're doing a lot of live stuff, a lot of finishing, a lot of shooting, whatever. Maybe we're going first person to 5 every drill, and I might have a player in that workout who's not winning, not getting to 5 first. Like, there might be one player who objectively won the most amount of drills in a workout. And maybe there's another player who won the least amount of drills in a workout, but I can tell them, like, listen, like, the score is what it is, right? You want to win, obviously, but at the end of the day, you got better because you performed at a very high level, or you push yourself outside of your comfort zone and you expanded your ability to perform. Your capacity, your potential to perform when it comes to an actual game got better in the context of this workout, even though objectively you didn't succeed today. You didn't win most of the drills. You didn't come out in first place. But if the goal is to expand our capability to perform, then you were very successful today. And that's the approach that a lot of times they need to have. And that I like to point out when I see it, because I think that is super, super important. And so, you know, kind of a thing that you can look at is just an example of that is, like, you know, maybe in practice or in a drill, instead of focusing on winning that game or winning that drill, let's say that it's a one-on-one drill that you're doing, okay? Instead of just being worried about, okay, I got to make it to 5 first. Well, maybe your goal should be, I'm not going to get scored on this entire drill. That's my goal. That's what I think I'm capable of doing. Okay, so that's what my measurement of success is going to be. It's not just going to be the objective, did I get to 5 first? It's, did I get scored on? Right? That's where I'm going to hold myself to. That's the standard I'm going to hold myself to today. So now it becomes about more than just the objective success. Because at the end of the day, you can't control what other people are doing. You might have 3 players who you're playing against who are terrible, and you can beat them easily. So if you just say, oh, well, I made it to 5 first, so it's a good day for me, but they score on you multiple times because you understand, like, okay, they can score a couple times, I'm still going to win. If that's how you look at it, then how much did you expand that capability to perform, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to get up right in their space, I'm going to make it super hard for them to do anything, and if they beat me a couple times because I'm doing that, oh well, I'm getting better at being able to get up in somebody's space and make them uncomfortable. Maybe I can't do that against the better players that I might play, but I can work on that ability right now against these players, and I can expand my capacity to perform right now. So it's about going beyond the surface level of success and looking about the deeper layers. Okay, how can I take this situation and make myself better out of it, right? Like, for example, we did a drill in one of my workouts a couple days ago, and it essentially was working kind of out of a closeout. It was an offensively geared drill. Like, we were talking about working out of 2 dribbles into a finish. But the defense started with the ball, and they would basically toss to the offensive player and then have to kind of close out to them. And so my challenge was for the guys, like, listen, it's not just about the offense right here. Like, this is an opportunity for you to get better at defense. Essentially the constraint with the drill was that the offensive player had to get to the basket. Like, they had to take 2 dribbles and get to the basket. So they had to be really, really efficient. But the defense knew that. The defense knew, okay, they have to drive right here. So the natural thing was, from all of them, was just, okay, well, I'm going to toss them the ball and kind of stand back a little bit because they can't shoot it. But if that's how you approach it, when you get to a game, then and you don't close out like that, you're just gonna hit a 3 in your face, right? So that's the first part. But then the other thing is, like, I told them, listen, I would rather you toss the ball, get up in their space, like touching them, like close to an arm's length away. I would rather have you do that and get beat than you toss the ball, hang 5 feet away from them, and get a stop. Again, objectively, yeah, you might win if you play off of them and you don't let them score like that. But I'd rather you expand your capacity to play defense right now by working on your ability to play close to somebody instead of you thinking that it's better to just kind of hang back, right? I'd rather you lose the drill playing great defense and trying your best to get better at it than win the drill playing lazy defense. That's what the approach should be. And that was a challenge that I wanted to put on those guys. Because you got to have pride playing defense right here. It's not always about not getting scored on. It's not always about looking good. Sometimes it's okay to get beat. And again, I told him, I was like, listen, you guys can look around. There's no coaches in here. There's no scoreboard in here. There's no reps in here. Nobody's going to put this game up on Max Preps after, right? Balls Life doesn't have the cameras in here filming you. Who cares? Who cares if you get beat? Who cares if you get scored on a couple times? Who cares if you get, shifted or whatever? Like, work on your ability to expand your capacity to play defense right here. That was the message for them right there. So instead of your main measurement for success being that scoreboard or being, okay, was I the first one to 5 today? Or, did I score X amount of points today? Measure it versus, how that outcome compares to what your best could be. What am I capable of doing? Am I capable of beating this person 5-0? Then that's what it has to be. Like, it's not, then if I only beat them 5-2, that's not good. That's not good enough for me right there. I wouldn't consider that a successful drill for me because I feel like I'm capable of holding them to 5-0, right? That's something that you should start to adapt when it comes to your own mentality when it goes into practices, when it goes into even games, right? If you're at a point where you feel like, listen, I'm capable of playing at a certain standard, that's where you got to hold yourself to. And that's the level that you have to try and reach every single day, right? What are you actually capable of, and did you perform to that level? And what this is going to do is it's going to actually allow you to, again, expand that capacity, but at an accelerated rate, right? So you're going to be able to get get better a lot faster than a lot of people around you because, again, they're measuring their success based on, did I win today? Did I get to 5 first? Did I not get scored on in that drill? Well, if that means that you played lazy defense and you found kind of ways to cheat it and make it easier on yourself, you didn't win that drill. You might have won it in the context of, objectively, but subjectively, you didn't expand your capacity to perform. So when we get to a game, you're not going to be as good as you could be had you been okay with losing and getting beat sometimes back in the workout, right? So start to take those opportunities for what they are, which is an opportunity for you to expand your capacity to perform. And if you do that, that's what success is. So if you say today, listen, today I lost a lot, I got beat a lot, but I got better, and I'm more comfortable playing good defense now, or maybe there was one drill where I held them to 0, and that to me, that's my success. I got better in that regard. When you do that, that's when you become an above average player, right? Average players, again, are okay with that objective success, but the players who become great are the ones who hold themselves to that high standard and they measure everything subjectively. Right? What am I capable of doing? And did I reach that today? And if you did, that's a successful day. So again, I wanted to give you guys this. This is something I've been thinking about. I've been seeing a lot. And I really want you guys to approach, everything you do with that subjective mindset of it's always got to be your best. It's not about what other people are doing or other people consider successful. You know what you're capable of doing, right? And you got to hold yourself to that if you want to be the best you can be long term. So again, hopefully that resonates with you guys, and you got some takedown moving forward. I know we're getting into November. I guess we're in November. What is today? The 9th as I'm recording this. So, a lot of you guys get into tryouts soon, season starting soon. So, great mentality for you guys to have moving forward. And again, I appreciate you guys who are tuned in, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you're listening to this. And then everybody on YouTube right now, subscribe if you are new. Like I said before, guys, give me that follow on Instagram, Vision Driven Basketball. Send me a DM. You guys have any podcast suggestions? And by the way, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram right now, I asked probably 3 or 4 days ago. I was thinking about writing an ebook, actually. Just kind of, I wanted to kind of gear it towards players in terms of kind of stuff that players need to know, right? And so I asked on Instagram, I was like, hey, listen, what would you guys want me to cover if I were to write a book? And this might be mindset stuff, could be player development stuff, could be whatever. And I got a ton of responses to that on my Instagram. But if you guys didn't get a chance or you guys didn't see that, drop a comment on YouTube Or if you're listening to this, send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know what you think. Like, hey, coach, I would love it if you talk about this in your book, or if you go through this, or if you give me some help with this, whatever. Because ultimately, like, I want this to be geared towards what would help you guys as much as possible. That to me is why I would be writing it. So if you guys have any suggestions for that, you have any topics you want me to cover, make sure you guys let me know about that. Again, I appreciate all of you guys who are supporting. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.